In the vast expanse of space, countless stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across black velvet. Among these stars, countless worlds teemed with life, all part of the mighty Galactic Empire. For thousands of years, the Empire had ruled with an iron fist, crushing any who dared to oppose its will. At the center of this empire sat Emperor Zorn, a being of immense power and cruelty. His massive palace, built from the rarest materials in the galaxy, covered an entire continent on the imperial capital world of Nexus Prime. From his golden throne, Zorn controlled the fates of trillions. On this day, like any other, Zorn sat brooding in his throne room. His purple skin glistened in the light of the three suns that shone through the crystal dome above. His four eyes, each a different color, scanned the holographic displays floating before him. Another boring day, Zorn grumbled, his voice like thunder. Nothing ever changes in this empire. Just then, a small green-skinned alien rushed into the throne room. It was Glix, Zorn's chief advisor. Glix's antennae quivered with excitement as he bowed low before the Emperor. "Your Majesty," Glix squeaked, "I bring news from the outer reaches of the Empire." Zorn leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Speak, Glix. What news could possibly be important enough to disturb me?" Glix cleared his throat. "It's about Earth, Your Majesty." Zorn's eyes narrowed. "Earth? That primitive mud ball in the unfashionable western spiral arm of the galaxy. What about it?" "Our routine inspection fleet is preparing to visit the planet, as they do every 100 years, Glix explained. "But this time, something feels different." The Emperor laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Different? Glix, you worry too much. Earth is a backwater planet full of primitives. They're probably still trying to figure out how to leave their own solar system." Glix nodded nervously. "Of course, Your Majesty. But our long-range sensors have detected some unusual energy readings from the planet. Nothing concrete, but—" Zorn waved a massive hand dismissively. "Probably just their primitive nuclear reactors acting up again. Remember the last inspection? They were so proud of their advanced fission power plants." The Emperor chuckled at the memory. "Yes, Your Majesty," Glix agreed. "But perhaps we should send a larger fleet this time, just to be safe." The Emperor considered this for a moment, then shook his head. "No need, Glix. Send the standard inspection fleet. 5 ships should be more than enough to intimidate those dirt dwellers." Glix bowed again. "As you wish, Your Majesty. The fleet will depart immediately." As Glix scurried out of the throne room, Zorn turned his attention back to the holographic displays. He pulled up an image of Earth, a small blue marble floating in the blackness of space. "Such an insignificant little world," Zorn mused. "Hard to believe it's even worth the fuel to inspect it." Little did Emperor Zorn know that beneath the seemingly primitive surface of Earth, a secret had been brewing for decades. In underground bases hidden deep within mountains and beneath oceans, humans had been working tirelessly on a project that would shake the foundations of the Galactic Empire. As the Imperial Inspection Fleet prepared for its journey, a sense of anticipation filled the air on Earth. In a top-secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Sarah Chen stood before a massive view screen, watching as the final preparations were made. "Status report," she barked. A young officer saluted. "All systems are go, General. The fleet is ready." Chen nodded, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Excellent. Soon, the Galactic Empire will learn that they've underestimated Earth for the last time." As the Imperial ships began their long journey across the stars, completely unaware of what awaited them, the people of Earth held their breath. The stage was set for a confrontation that would change the course of galactic history forever. Deep beneath the surface of the blue planet, a hive of activity buzzed with nervous energy. In a vast underground chamber carved into the heart of Mount Everest, rows upon rows of sleek, silver spacecraft stood ready. These weren't the clunky rockets of old Earth sci-fi movies. No, these ships gleamed with an otherworldly light, their smooth hulls hiding technology beyond even the Galactic Empire's wildest dreams. Dr. Amelia Wong, Earth's leading quantum physicist, walked along the line of ships. Her lab coat swished as she moved, tablet in hand, checking and double-checking every detail. She stopped at one ship, running her hand over its cool metal surface. "Beautiful, aren't they?" a voice said behind her. Amelia turned to see General Chen approaching, a proud smile on her face. "They're more than beautiful, Sarah," Amelia replied. "They're our future." The two women stood in silence for a moment, admiring the fleet that represented decades of secret work and sacrifices. "How much longer?" General Chen asked, her voice low. Dr. Wong consulted her tablet. "We're at 98% readiness. The quantum drives are stable, and the AI systems are fully integrated. We just need to run one final series of tests." Chen nodded. "Good. The Imperial fleet will be here in less than a week. We need to be ready." As they spoke, a young engineer ran up to them, out of breath. "Dr. Wong, General Chen, we've got a problem with the cloaking system on Ship 7. Without hesitation, both women rushed to the ship in question. A panel on its side was open, revealing a maze of glowing circuitry. Dr. Wong immediately dove in, her fingers flying over the complex systems. "Hand me the quantum spanner," she ordered. The engineer quickly complied. For several tense minutes, Amelia worked in silence, sweat beading on her forehead. Finally, she emerged from the panel, a triumphant grin on her face. "Fixed," she announced. "A simple misalignment in the phase inverters. It won't happen again." General Chen let out a relieved sigh. "Excellent work, Amelia. We can't afford any mistakes, not when we're so close." As the two women walked back to the command center, they passed by other areas of the secret base. In one room, pilots trained on advanced simulators, learning to handle the new ship's incredible speed and maneuverability. In another, scientists fine-tuned weapons that could punch through the strongest Imperial shields. In the command center, a giant holographic display showed the approaching Imperial fleet, 5 dots of light, slowly but steadily making their way toward Earth. "They have no idea what they're flying into," Chen mused, watching the display. Dr. Wong nodded. "Years of misdirection and hidden advancements. It hasn't been easy, keeping all this from the Empire's prying eyes. Or from our own people," Chen added. "Sometimes I wonder if we did the right thing, keeping so many in the dark." Amelia placed a comforting hand on her friend's shoulder. "We had to. The fewer who knew, the less chance of the Empire finding out. Once this is over, once we've shown the galaxy what we can do, everyone will understand." Just then, an alarm blared through the base. Red lights flashed, and personnel rushed to their stations. "What's happening?" Chen demanded. A technician at a nearby console responded. "General, we're detecting an unscheduled launch from our lunar base." Chen's eyes widened in shock. "What? Who authorized that?" Dr. Wong quickly pulled up the data on her tablet. It's Dr. Ramirez. He's taken one of the prototype ships." General Chen's face hardened. "Patch me through to him. Now." The main screen flickered to life, showing the cockpit of one of their advanced ships. Dr. Ramirez, a brilliant but notoriously unstable scientist, sat at the controls. "Carlos, what are you doing?" Chen demanded. Ramirez's eyes were wild with excitement. "I'm sorry, Sarah, Amelia. I couldn't wait any longer. The Empire needs to know what we can do. I'm going to show them." Before anyone could react, the transmission cut off. On the holographic display, a new dot of light appeared, racing away from Earth at incredible speed. General Chen turned to Dr. Wong, her face grim. "Looks like our reveal might come sooner than we planned. Prep the fleet for immediate launch. We need to stop Carlos before he ruins everything." As alarms continued to blare and the base erupted into frenzied activity, Earth's carefully laid plans began to unravel. The next few hours would determine the fate of not just their world, but the entire galaxy. The 5 massive ships of the Galactic Empire's inspection fleet dropped out of hyperspace near Earth's moon. Their sleek, dark hulls gleamed in the reflected sunlight, bristling with weapons that could reduce entire cities to ash in seconds. On the bridge of the lead ship, Captain Sorlak stood with his 4 arms crossed, all 6 of his yellow eyes fixed on the blue-green planet before him. His scaly skin rippled with anticipation. "So this is Earth," he mused. "It doesn't look like much." His second-in-command, Lieutenant Zora, a tall, willowy being with silver skin, approached with a data pad. "Sir, we're detecting some unusual energy readings from the planet." Sorlak waved a dismissive hand. "Probably just their primitive power plants. Remember the briefing, Zora. These humans are centuries behind us." Suddenly, an alarm blared. The bridge erupted into frantic activity. "Captain," a sensor operator shouted, "we've detected a small craft approaching at high speed. It's coming from the direction of Earth's moon." Sorlak's eyes widened in surprise. "What? That's impossible. Earth doesn't have the technology for lunar bases." On the main view screen, a sleek silver ship appeared, streaking towards them faster than anything the Imperial fleet had ever encountered. "Sir," Zara said, her voice trembling, "that ship, its design is unlike anything in our database. And its speed, it's impossible." Captain Sorlak's mind raced. This wasn't how the inspection was supposed to go. "Hail them," he ordered. The view screen flickered, and the face of a human appeared. His eyes were wild, his hair disheveled. "Greetings, Galactic Empire," the human shouted. "I am Dr. Carlos Ramirez of Earth. Prepare to witness the dawn of a new era." Before Sorlak could respond, the transmission cut off. The small Earth ship suddenly accelerated, effortlessly weaving between the Imperial vessels. "Impossible," Sorlak whispered. Then, louder, "Weapons. Target that ship." But it was too late. Ramirez's ship danced around their energy beams like they were standing still. In a flash of light, it disappeared, reappearing instantly on the other side of the fleet. He teleported. Zora gasped. Sorlak's mind reeled. This technology was far beyond anything the Empire possessed. "Send a message to High Command," he ordered. "Tell them." His words were cut short as the ship rocked violently. Alarms blared throughout the vessel. "Sir," the sensor operator cried. "More ships approaching from Earth. Hundreds of them." The view screen filled with a dazzling array of sleek, silver ships emerging from the planet's atmosphere. They moved with impossible grace and speed, surrounding the Imperial fleet in seconds. Sorlak stood frozen, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. This was supposed to be a routine inspection of a backward planet. Instead, he found himself faced with technology that made the Empire's finest ships look like children's toys. A new transmission came through. The face that appeared on the screen was that of a stern-looking human female. "This is General Sarah Chen of Earth's Defense Force," she announced. "Your inspection is hereby canceled. We will be asking the questions now." On Earth, in the secret base beneath Mount Everest, Dr. Amelia Wong watched the unfolding scene with a mixture of pride and concern. "We did it," she breathed. "We actually did it." Beside her, a junior officer spoke up. "Dr. Wong, we're receiving transmissions from all over the planet. People are seeing our ships. The secret's out." Amelia nodded. "Send a broadcast to all Earth channels. It's time our people knew the truth." As she prepared to address the world, Amelia couldn't help but smile. Years of secrecy, of hard work and sacrifice, had led to this moment. Earth was about to step onto the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same. In orbit, the Imperial fleet hung motionless, surrounded by Earth's advanced ships. Captain Sorlak, his confidence shattered, realized that his next actions would determine the fate of not just this mission, but possibly the entire Galactic Empire. As General Chen's ship approached for boarding, Sorlak made a decision. "Stand down all weapons," he ordered. "Let's hear what they have to say." The age of Earth's subservience was over. A new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. The world held its breath as Dr. Amelia Wong's face appeared on screens across the globe. From Times Square in New York to the bustling streets of Tokyo, crowds gathered to hear the truth that had been hidden for so long. "People of Earth," Amelia began, her voice steadied despite the weight of the moment. "Today, we reveal a secret that will change our place in the universe forever." As she spoke, images of Earth's advanced fleet filled the screens, showing the sleek ships effortlessly outmaneuvering the Galactic Empire's vessels. For decades, we have worked in secret, developing technology beyond even the Empire's wildest dreams. Today, we stand as equals among the stars. In orbit, General Sarah Chen's ship docked with the Imperial flagship. She strode onto the bridge, flanked by a squad of Earth's finest soldiers. Their advanced armor made them look more like robots than humans. Captain Torlak, still in shock, managed a weak salute. "General Chen, I presume." Sarah nodded curtly. "Captain, your inspection has been canceled. Instead, we'll be giving you a demonstration." With a gesture, Sarah activated a holographic display. It showed a small asteroid in the outer reaches of the solar system. "Watch closely," she said. On her command, one of Earth's ships broke formation. In the blink of an eye, it vanished, reappearing next to the asteroid. A beam of energy shot out from the ship, and the massive rock simply disappeared. Sorlak's 6 eyes widened in disbelief. "Impossible. You disintegrated it." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Not quite. Look there." She pointed to a spot near Mars. The asteroid materialized out of thin air, now peacefully orbiting the red planet. "Teleportation," Sorlak whispered, his voice a mix of awe and fear. "Among other things," Sarah replied. "Now shall we discuss new terms for Earth's relationship with the Empire?" Meanwhile, back on Earth, chaos erupted as people tried to process the revelation. In New York, Jack Thompson, a hot dog vendor, stared at the screen in Times Square. "I can't believe it," he muttered to no one in particular. "All this time, we had this technology." Beside him, Maria Rodriguez, a school teacher, shook her head in wonder. "Think of what this means for education, for medicine." Similar scenes played out across the globe. In a small village in Kenya, children cheered as they saw Earth's ships dance among the stars. In Beijing, scientists wept with joy at the sight of technology they had only dreamed of. But not everyone was celebrating. In Washington, D.C., angry protesters gathered outside the White House. "Why were we kept in the dark?" they shouted. "We had a right to know." President Laura Mitchell watched the crowds from her office window, her face grim. She turned to her chief of staff. "Get me General Chen. It's time we addressed the world together." Back in orbit, the negotiations between Earth and the Empire were heating up. "You can't simply declare independence," Sorlak sputtered. "The Emperor will never allow it." General Chen's eyes narrowed. "I don't think you understand, Captain. We're not asking for permission." To emphasize her point, one of Earth's ships casually fired an energy beam, slicing through an Imperial vessel like it was made of paper. The ship's crew was instantly teleported to safety, appearing on the bridge of Sorlak's flagship. "That was set to minimum power," Sarah said coolly. "Shall I demonstrate the maximum?" Sorlak slumped in his chair, defeated. "What are your terms?" As Sarah outlined Earth's demands, Dr. Wong was busy in the lunar base, coordinating with scientists around the world. The secret was out, and now it was time to share their advances with all of humanity. "Send the data packets to every major research institution," she ordered. "It's time we all moved forward together." As the first day of Earth's new era drew to a close, the planet buzzed with excitement, fear, and endless questions. The Galactic Empire had been rocked to its core, and the balance of power was shifting. But in the shadows, unseen eyes watched and waited. Not everyone was happy with Earth's newfound power. and the real challenges were only just beginning. On the imperial capital world of Nexus Prime, Emperor Zorn sat frozen on his golden throne. His purple skin had turned a sickly shade of lavender as he watched the holographic replay of Earth's ships decimating his prized fleet. Impossible, he muttered for the 100th time. Glix, his advisor, cowered nearby. Your Majesty, we're receiving reports from across the Empire. News of Earth's technology is spreading fast. Zorn's 4 eyes narrowed dangerously. And well, there's unrest, Your Majesty. Many worlds are questioning our power. Some are even calling for independence. The Emperor's roar shook the palace walls. Unacceptable. Send our fleets to crush these rebels. Glix swallowed hard. But sire, if Earth's technology is as advanced as it seems, our fleets might not be. Enough, Zorn thundered. Find me someone who can match this Earth technology. Now. As Glix scurried away, Zorn turned back to the holographic display. How had he underestimated Earth so badly? Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. On the desert world of Eridus, crowds gathered in the streets, their tentacles waving excitedly. Earth has shown us the way, a rebel leader shouted. We too can stand up to the Empire. Similar scenes played out on countless worlds. On the ocean planet Aquarius, the news sparked a revolution. The imperial governor found himself locked in his own palace as the fish-like natives celebrated in the streets. Even on worlds loyal to the Empire, doubt began to creep in. On the mining colony of Nexus 9, Gruff Foreman Grax watched the news with his workers. If Earth could hide all that, he grumbled. What else don't we know? Back on Earth, General Chen and Dr. Wong were working round the clock. As Earth's ships patrolled the solar system, they coordinated with leaders around the world. The Empire won't take this lying down, Chen warned during a video conference. We need to be ready. President Mitchell nodded grimly. What about the other worlds? The ones reaching out to us? Dr. Wong leaned forward. We've been in contact with several. Many are eager for our help in breaking free from the Empire. And the risks? Mitchell asked. Chen's face hardened. Hi, we'd be making enemies across the galaxy, but also powerful allies. As they debated Earth's next move, a junior officer burst into the room. General, we're detecting massive energy signatures at the edge of the solar system. Chen's eyes widened. The Empire. The officer shook his head. No, ma'am. It's ships from other worlds. Dozens of them. They're requesting permission to approach Earth. A stunned silence fell over the room. Earth's actions hadn't just shaken the Empire. They had attracted the attention of the entire galaxy. In the depths of space, the collection of alien ships was an awe-inspiring sight. Vessels of all shapes and sizes, representing civilizations from across the galaxy, hung in space just beyond Pluto's orbit. On the bridge of the lead ship, Ambassador Xyra of the Pleiades Confederation stood tall, her luminescent skin glowing with excitement. After centuries of imperial rule, she announced to her crew, we finally have a chance for true freedom. Earth has given us hope. Her first officer, a being of pure energy contained in a humanoid form, spoke up. But Ambassador, what if Earth simply wants to replace the Empire? To rule over us instead? Xyra's expression turned serious. Then we'll have traded one tyrant for another, but we must take that chance. For too long, we've lived under the Empire's boot. It's time for a change. As the alien fleet waited for Earth's response, the planet below was a hive of activity. Military leaders scrambled to assess potential threats. Scientists salivated at the prospect of studying new alien technologies, and world leaders debated the monumental decision that lay before them. In her office, President Mitchell stared out the window at the night sky. Somewhere up there, the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. With a deep breath, she turned to her staff. Send a message to the alien fleet, she said, her voice firm. Tell them, Earth welcomes them. As the message was transmitted, a new chapter in galactic history began to unfold. The Galactic Empire's grip on power was slipping, and Earth found itself at the center of a cosmic revolution. But in the shadows of Nexus Prime, Emperor Zorn was far from defeated. His eyes glowed with malevolence as he set in motion a plan that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. The stage was set for a conflict that would determine the fate of countless worlds. And Earth, the once ignored backwater planet, was now at the heart of it all. The Grand Hall of the United Nations in New York City had never seen a gathering quite like this. Creatures of all shapes, sizes, and colors filled the room, their translators buzzing as they conversed in hundreds of languages. At the center of it all stood President Laura Mitchell, flanked by General Chen and Dr. Wang. "Friends from across the stars," Mitchell began, her voice echoing through the hall. "Welcome to Earth. Together, we stand at the dawn of a new era." As she spoke, holographic displays showed Earth's fleet working alongside ships from other worlds. They were dismantling imperial outposts, freeing enslaved populations, and sharing advanced technology. In the Andromeda sector, Earth ships led a coalition force against an imperial stronghold. The battle was short and decisive. Earth's advanced weapons cut through the Empire's defenses like they were made of paper. Admiral Cora, a squid-like being from the water world of Aquarius, watched in awe. By the tides, she gurgled, "I never thought I'd see the day the Empire fell." Her first officer, a human named Jack Thompson, the former hot dog vendor from New York, grinned. "Pretty amazing what we can do when we work together, huh?" Back on Earth, Dr. Wang was busy coordinating the biggest scientific collaboration in history. In a massive underground lab, she stood surrounded by aliens and humans alike, all working on pushing the boundaries of science. "The quantum entanglement drive is stable," reported a gray-skinned alien with 3 eyes. "We're ready for the test." Amelia nodded, excitement bubbling in her chest. "Initiate the sequence." With a low hum, a small probe disappeared from the lab. Seconds later, a cheer erupted as they received signals from the probe. From the other side of the galaxy. "We did it," Amelia shouted, hugging the nearest alien, who looked slightly confused but pleased. Meanwhile, in the war room beneath the Pentagon, General Chen was strategizing with military leaders from a dozen worlds. "The Empire still controls these key systems," she said, pointing to a star map. "We need to liberate them if we want to cut off their supply lines." A holographic projection of Ambassador Xyra nodded in agreement. "My people can provide intelligence on the Imperial defenses in that sector." "Excellent," Chen replied. "We'll coordinate our fleet movements. Earth's stealth technology combined with Pleiadian jamming fields should give us the edge we need." As Earth rose to its new position of power, not everything was smooth sailing. In a small town in rural America, protesters gathered outside a new alien cultural center. "Earth for humans," they chanted, waving signs. Similar scenes played out in pockets around the world. Change, even positive change, was never easy for everyone to accept. President Mitchell addressed these concerns in a global broadcast. "I understand that these changes are frightening to some," she said, her voice calm but firm. "But we must not let fear drive us. This is our chance to build a better future, not just for Earth, but for all sentient beings." Her words seemed to resonate, and gradually, the protests dwindled as more and more people embraced the new galactic community. In the imperial capital on Nexus Prime, Emperor Zorn paced his throne room, which now seemed smaller and less grand. "Your Majesty," Glix said tentatively, "perhaps it's time to consider negotiation." Zorn's eyes flashed dangerously. "Never. I would rather see the galaxy burn than bow to those Earth primitives." He stormed over to a hidden panel and pressed his hand against it. A secret door slid open, revealing a pulsing dark energy core. "If I can't rule the galaxy," Zorn growled, "then no one will." As he reached for the controls, alarms blared throughout the palace. On every screen, the image of Earth's fleet appeared, surrounding Nexus Prime. General Chen's voice boomed through the communication systems. "Emperor Zorn, your reign is over. Surrender now, or face the consequences." Zorn's hand hovered over the dark energy core. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Would he surrender, or would his madness doom them all? Back on Earth, in the UN hall, President Mitchell felt a shiver run down her spine. Something told her that the hardest challenge was yet to come. The next few moments would determine whether Earth's rise to power would usher in an age of peace, or ignite a conflict that could tear the galaxy apart. The entire galaxy held its breath as Emperor Zorn stood poised to activate the dark energy core. On Earth, in the UN hall, President Mitchell and her team watched the tense standoff via a live holographic feed. "We have to stop him," Dr. Wong whispered urgently. That core could destabilize the fabric of space-time itself. General Chen's voice crackled through the comms. "Emperor Zorn, step away from the core. This is your final warning." For a moment, it seemed as if Zorn would doom them all. But then, slowly, he lowered his hand. His shoulders slumped in defeat. I surrender," he said, his voice barely audible. A collective sigh of relief echoed across countless worlds. The war was over. In the days that followed, a flurry of activity swept across the galaxy. On Nexus Prime, Zorn was placed under arrest, his vast palace transformed into a center for galactic cooperation. Glix, surprisingly, proved instrumental in helping dismantle the old Imperial systems. Back on Earth, the UN hall buzzed with excitement as representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered to form a new galactic council. President Mitchell stood at the podium, her voice strong and clear. "Today, we forge a new path. Not an empire, but a federation. A union of free worlds, working together for the benefit of all." The hall erupted in cheers and applause, and various other alien expressions of approval, including some rather impressive color changes and bioluminescent displays. Ambassador Xyra, now representing the Free Pleiades systems, approached the podium. "Earth has shown us the way," she said, her luminescent skin glowing brightly. "But power can corrupt. How can we ensure this new federation doesn't become just another empire?" Dr. Wong stepped forward, holding a small device. "With this," she said, "we call it the Harmony Core. It's a quantum-linked network that will connect all member worlds, ensuring total transparency and governance." She activated the device, and a shimmering web of light spread throughout the hall, connecting every being present. "With this technology," Amelia continued, "no decision can be made without the consensus of all. It's true democracy on a galactic scale." The implications were staggering. Beings from across the galaxy marveled at the ingenuity of Earth's scientists. In orbit above Earth, General Chen oversaw the integration of the new Galactic Defense Force. Ships of all designs and origins flew in formation, a symbol of unity and strength. Jack Thompson, now a full-fledged officer, stood on the bridge of an Earth ship, gazing out at the fleet. "You know," he said to his alien crewmate, "a few months ago, I was selling hot dogs in New York. Now look at us." His crewmate, a rock-like being from a heavy-gravity world, rumbled with laughter. "Life is full of surprises, friend. I was a miner on a backwater moon. Now I'm helping protect the galaxy." As news of the new Galactic Federation spread, worlds that had long been isolated or oppressed reached out. Trade routes opened up, cultural exchanges flourished, and scientific collaboration led to breakthroughs that would have been impossible for any one civilization alone. Of course, challenges remained. On some worlds, die-hard Imperial loyalists caused trouble. Earth itself still grappled with pockets of xenophobia. And in the vast unknown regions of space, new threats always loomed. But for the first time in millennia, the galaxy was united in hope rather than fear. In the UN hall, as the final details of the new federation were being worked out, President Mitchell found a quiet moment with General Chen and Dr. Wong. "We did it," Laura said, a hint of awe in her voice. "We really did it." Sarah nodded, a rare smile on her face. Earth's no longer just a small blue planet. We're part of something bigger now. Amelia looked out at the diverse crowd of beings, all working together. The real work's only beginning, she said. But I can't wait to see what we'll discover out there. As they stood there, Earth's three unlikely heroes, they knew that the future was bright. The age of empires was over. A new era of exploration, cooperation, and limitless possibilities stretched out before them, as vast and full of wonder as the starry sky itself. In that moment, as beings from 1,000 worlds mingled and planned for a shared future, one thing was clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. And Earth, once a backward planet on the fringes of an uncaring empire, now stood at the center of a bright new cosmic dawn.